Hello and welcome to part 2 in our mini-series on professional email etiquette. Last time we talked about why it's important to put some effort into crafting your emails so they get noticed. And we looked at 3 parts of an email that, when used correctly, make your message immediately clearer and more effective to your recipient. Those were concrete steps that you could actively do. Put a greeting. Make sure to use a closing. Right now, we're going to talk about something a little more abstract. It's the idea of tone, which is not something you do, but something you feel. Tone communicates the attitude associated with the content. The way words are chosen and combined can create different meanings. For example, these 2 sentences. You can't use the conference room until my meeting ends, versus, as soon as we wrap up the meeting, the room is yours. They're saying the same thing. We finish with the room, then it's your turn. But the tone in each sentence is very different. One feels aggressive and defensive, and the other seems friendly and almost helpful. The book Silent Messages tells us that when we're speaking face-to-face with other people, we interpret messages primarily through non-verbal elements. The biggest part of that is facial expressions and body language. We pick up about 55% of what we're understanding the other person to be saying through those physical elements. Tone of voice and style of delivery make up another 38%, and only 7% of how we interpret what someone is saying actually comes from the words they use. 7%. You know what else is made up of words we use? Emails. Emails are 100% words we use, even though we normally lean on those only about 7% of the time for our understanding of the message. Emails are far easier than speech to misinterpret, especially when it comes to tone. So it's critical we put some thought into how will this come across? Your email has the power to create an impression of you, the writer, and the power to impact what the recipient will do. This includes what is said, how it's said, and who receives it, how they interpret it. The tone you intended to convey isn't always received the same way by the recipient. If the tone leaves the content unclear, confusing, or offensive, the reader won't be able to understand properly what you are saying, or it can create hard feelings on one end or the other.
Oh, I can't even look at this spreadsheet anymore. Maybe she'll proof it for me. Provide for your participants.
Hey, I know you're busy, but can you proof the OSHA completion report?
Can you proof the OSHA report? Absolutely, I can. I got nothing going on.
Oh, sure. It's not like I've got anything else going on. If it's too much trouble, I can ask someone else to do it.
So sweet. Oh, don't bother. I can handle it.
Don't bother. I can handle it.
I think she's mad, Bill.
The best way to prevent a misunderstanding in tone is to simply speak in person, whether that's face-to-face or even through a phone call. This is especially important if the issue is urgent, confidential, complex, like you'll have to go back and forth a whole lot to get it worked out, or if it's emotionally charged. Don't email when you're mad. If you are sending an email, keep in mind some of the most common tone problems, like being too abrupt. Sometimes we send emails when we're in a hurry or we're on that tiny little phone screen and we just want to get it done. This can make for a very abrupt email. It's important to have just enough content to soften your message so it doesn't come across as rude. Use please and thank you. They are nearly always appreciated. Keep in mind, please is not courteous when used with a passive-aggressive edge.
Could you please do it right this time?
Another problem is going the other way and writing too much or getting way too wordy or flowery.
My dear good sir, greetings and felicitations on your recent advancement.
Oh my gosh, please stop talking. Sometimes we're trying to get something without asking outright, or maybe just trying to impress the reader. More words is not always better. Business emails should be easy for the reader to grasp. The goal is to communicate the content, not show off your vocabulary. This is especially true if you're sending your email to a wide variety of people who all need to come to the same understanding of what you've sent. A third common mistake is one I've already mentioned: angry emails. And to be fair, we tend to send our angry emails to other people, ones we know will sympathize with us. But sometimes the message gets forwarded to someone who should never have received it. The internet is full of that kind of thing. Write the angry email if you need to. It can be good therapy, but don't address it or send it until you've had a chance to cool off and reconsider. Do that thing where you're wording your sentences positively instead of in an antagonistic manner. This might help you build relationships instead of damaging them. In the last video of our Email Etiquette Mini-Train mini-series, we'll talk about the actual content of the email. What goes in? What should stay out? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.